everybody. Welcome to Tadaima, Terrace House Podcast, your weekly companion to your favorite show on Netflix. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Daily Wilhelm.
Konbanwa.
Jack Zapata.
Merry day after Christmas, everybody.
And Colin Sparling.
You know what helps with post-Christmas depression? Tadaima, a Terrace House Podcast. Thank you for listening, everybody.
I was going to say alcohol, but that works too.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
And when he says
Antidepressants.
helps, when he says helps, he means helps him.
Yes, very true.
I have some demons to drown.
What did everyone get for Christmas?
Goodies.
Socks. Lots and lots of socks.
You know what?
Minion socks?
You guys got gifts for Christmas because Robert got you gifts and he didn't get me anything. So
Robert got me
live in
slippers.
Austin. I don't even know your address, and definitely don't say your address now because then you'll
Yeah,
box yourself.
dude, we should dox Jack. That's what you can have for
I
Christmas.
feel like Yui and OND. This is just such a betrayal. No, I'm
Send
just
you
kidding,
some
guys.
Minion
I'm just
socks.
being a total jerk here.
Minion
Robert's a good
socks. Who
gift.
got Minion socks? I didn't get Minion socks.
I didn't get Minion socks.
I gave
got
the Minion
Pusheen
socks to
slippers.
myself.
That was pretty cool.
Is Pusheen still a thing?
Pusheen is totally a thing.
I remember I used to send emojis in Facebook Messenger with Pusheen all the time.
Do
You
it
were a
more.
really cool kid, huh?
Oh
yeah,
god, it
you
was
were the
so
cool kid with those
Yeah.
stickers. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ah, jeez. So this week, we're going to be covering, well, I guess, no, we've already covered something earlier this week, but what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of round up all of the lost tapes from part one, because we still haven't talked about them. But by lost tapes, we mean the Another Terrace clips. The lost tapes is what we call them. So what we've done is we watched all, what is it, guys, 20? 20 clips?
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Roughly
It was a good
about.
2-hour block or so of watching.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, it was a lot. So we've watched all of them, and we're not going to talk about all of them today because, again, it's a lot. But we've kind of narrowed it down to maybe a good handful of ones that we definitely want to talk about. But we will put a link to all of them down in the description below or in the show notes. So if you want to go watch the ones we don't talk about, or even watch the ones that we do talk about so you have a little more context, feel free to do so, because there are some really funny ones.
We have curated a fine selection of deli meats and cheeses and charcuterie to go along with these fine
One more time.
charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
One more
Can
time.
you define that?
Charcuterie. That's the word. That's the way to say it. I'm saying it right, guys. What are you
Spell
talking about? I'm not spelling it. But
No,
anyways,
this is a game
this
show.
is the
Listen, you
Tadaima
can't make fun of
Select.
Jack too hard. You can't make fun of Jack too hard because I didn't even know what the fuck charcuterie was until about 2 years ago.
Charcuterie. It's not cooterie. But anyways,
Ew.
what I'm trying to say is merry day after Christmas. We went through all of these for 2 hours and we picked the finest ones, the finest cuts of Tadaima goodness and podcastness for Another Terrace videos. I'll stop talking now.
Are we now a food? Can you just not like all you can think about now is meat and cheese?
Oh,
That's
guys,
it.
I'm hungry.
Kinda.
The finest cuts.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of food
so-
in these too.
Same. So we're going to talk about a bunch of these, but keep in mind, please, if you want more great Terrace House content, go check out the rest of them. You know, there's stuff like Shohei turning a bunch of eggs into a quiz show. That's a real thing. So check that out. And of course, many, many, many thanks to CostcoSubs for translating all of this. Their hard work is definitely appreciated. And a quick shout out to Hearthrose in our Discord, because he is also on the team and he's been an invaluable resource for figuring this stuff out. So thank you for all the hard work that you and CostcoSubs do. But without further ado, let us talk about the lost tape from the very first week that the show calls Past Love Stories, where it's basically all 6 of them eating dinner. And it's definitely like, this feels early, you know, I mean, it is early, but it's essentially everyone kind of exchanging, you know, their past relationships, what they value in a significant other, and all those kind of things.
So it's really weird always going back to these Another Terrace clips because the way we usually do it, right, is usually it's after we've watched a good chunk in the show and all these relationships and how the people know each other. It's always already established. So going back to week 1, before everyone knows each other, before all the incidents, before all the arguments, it's so crazy, like thinking like what's to come from these people. Everything seems so new and innocent and everyone's just trying to like get to know each other. And here we get some backstory about past loves and relationships to kind of set up who these people are. And it's something we didn't see in the show, which is what makes it interesting.
The one thing I want to hone in on, and for me, it's the way Haruka and Risako define what they want in an SO. Because Haruka is very, I want my boyfriend to tell me everything. I want to ask him what his day is like, and then I want him to tell me every little thing he does that day. If he's gonna go on like a business dinner with a girl, he needs to tell me way in advance, that kind of thing. Whereas Risako is kind of the complete opposite, funnily enough, where she doesn't really care what her boyfriend does throughout the day. It's just like he's his own person. If he wants to talk about me to his friends, that's cool. And I wrote in my notes that Haruka disagrees. The first of many disagreements.
Yeah. Foreshadowing. This is some foreshadowing. If you were to watch this in the first week, it tells of what to come, the difference between Haruka and Risako, because they're just complete and utter opposites. And Risako doesn't want anything to do with anything that her boyfriend is doing outside of their relationship or outside of home or whatever. Like, she doesn't care. She just cares what happens between them. And so Kenny trying to explain himself like, okay, what if I go out on a work date with a coworker, or like I need to go out with someone for a job, like I'm trying to pitch a sale or something like that. How would you feel about that? And so Risako is like, I don't want to know. Haruka's like, tell me everything. So Kenny's like, oh God, what do I do? He's like, I don't know what to do in this situation. You can't win, man, is what it seems like, but it just depends on the person.
Yeah. The next clip that we have highlighted here is from week 4. It's called Frozen Milk, which is a very confusing name at first, but it comes to light very quickly. So the clip opens up with Risako. She's exhausted. She's definitely been working a lot. And, you get that feeling, right? Especially early in the season where she's definitely been doing a lot of stuff. She's working that job and practicing for parkour. But she still is determined to always put her best foot forward to do stuff. And then Ruka comes home and Shohei's like, hey, Ruka. And he walks up, goes to the kitchen and pulls out from the freezer a carton of milk. It's like, did you fucking freeze a carton of milk?
I wanted to make ice cream.
He thumps it down on the counter and like knock, knock, knock. It's solid as a rock. Like, what happened here? And I think that because it's like a French style freezer, where the freezer's on the bottom, it might have been confusing. Because I think Kaori also was like, oh, the freezer's down there. So if you don't know, like, it might get, I've only had the kind of fridges where it's either side by side or it's like the bottom part is the bigger part and that's the fridge and then the freezer's on top and smaller part. But it seems like with their fridge, the freezer's at the bottom. I don't know.
I'm going to argue with you here. Just that I don't think like it's a very steep learning curve to be like, this is the freezer. This is the refrigerator.
Yes.
Milk does not go in the freezer.
The colder one. Yeah, no, you are right. Ruka made a dumb move there. Made for some good comedy though.
So I don't know if I'm a fan of the whole like drawer style freezer. It kind of weirds me out. I'm like, I don't feel like I can stack stuff as efficiently. There's no shelves going on here. Like I don't know. It always weirds me out. Like I don't know how to feel about them. And I've never been in a household like where I've had to use one persistently. It's always been in other people's places. But I always feel like it's an inefficient use of space, or am I just crazy? Like, do you guys have strong feelings about this?
I think it could work. I think they've solved the problems that you're bringing up before. I think technology has taken hold in engineering and found a way. I like the fan. I mean, you go to Best Buy or wherever. That's like, I don't know if some other people maybe listen to this podcast don't know what Best Buy is. Electronics store. Anyways, you go there and you just test out like the fancy fridges where you like knock on them and they turn a light on and you can see everything inside the fridge without opening the door.
What?
Nani the fuck?
This? It's like a glass front and then you like knock on it and then the internal light turns on. You can see everything in the fridge without opening the door for efficiency. It's pretty badass.
Fuck?
Anyways, fridges have came a far way, guys. They've come a long way since the 80s and 90s, and there's some crazy tech out there. I mean, there's some with like tablets on them and shit. That's a little overkill.
I don't understand smart fridges. Yeah. I'm glad that they don't have one in Terrace House, because otherwise, what if they use that as the chalkboard instead? A little lackluster.
I mean, they literally have
is essential.
They literally have fridges where you could watch Netflix and thus Terrace House on the door of the fridge.
Okay, well, hold on though, but why?
No, I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying it was somebody's idea.
I mean, can I just say that means sometime in the future, being single and alone and sad will mean going to your freezer, opening it up, getting a Hot Pocket out and nuking it, and then setting a chair up in front of your fridge.
Oh gosh.
To eat a Hot Pocket and watch something.
You know what though? In a city like Tokyo where space is such a premium, someone might appreciate that.
Fair point.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you ever had one of those moments where you walked into your kitchen and you're like looking for something to eat and you open your fridge and nothing's in there, and then you open again like a couple minutes later, of like assuming food's just going to magically appear in your fridge somehow. What happens? Where does a tablet on your fridge come into that? Does that just like watch Terrace House on your fridge and you're like, oh, I totally forgot what's in my fridge, and then you open
really
it again.
ham on fridge technology.
We are. We're going way off track.
I so happen to be someone that can talk about this. I don't know why, but they also have fridges now with cameras on the inside, and you can get on your phone or on your tablet and look at what's in there. Maybe like ostensibly you're at the grocery store. You're like, oh fuck, how much milk do we have? Go on your phone. Okay, that's it. Boom.
Well, Ruka froze the fucking milk, so now we need milk.
Also, Amazon wants nothing more than to know exactly what is in your fridge and how hot and how much milk you have, so that they can send you a notice saying, hey, you only have a third, this much milk left. Hit this button and we'll send you some in 2 hours. So that's on the way, by the way.
The Future. Amazon fridge.
Yes, it's scary. But there's a rubber band too, right? In this,
yes,
that we need to talk about.
Yeah. So Kenny and Ruka, they're playing this game where so someone brought like a gift or something, right? That had like the rubber band ribbon thing wrapped around it. Like it's not quite a rubber band, right? But it's a rubbery.
It's one of those like thick ones, and then they made it so that it's not a circle anymore. It's just the strip of rubber band.
Yeah, it's like it's just like an egg noodle almost.
What was in the box though that it was attached to? I didn't understand what I was looking at.
I remember Kenny got some gift or something like that, and it was like part of the packaging or something like that.
Right. Oh. So they play this game, and I don't know why anyone decided this is a game I want to play.
No.
But essentially, you have two people facing each other. And you each put one end of the band in your teeth, so you're kind of clenching your teeth on it like this.
It's like Lady and the Tramp style.
Yeah, except for instead of sucking it in and coming in for a kiss, you pull at each other until one person lets go. And I couldn't help but think, okay, wait, so is the loser the person who lets go? Or the one who gets snapped in the face?
Yeah, and okay, the mother hen in me was coming out here. I was like, they need eye protection for this. Someone's going to get snapped in the eye. It's going to be real bad. I was like, they need safety glasses. I was really scared.
Yeah.
I think it's just a game of chicken, isn't it?
It kind of is. It's kind of, I don't, like, they all made, like, a big deal when they got hit. Like, oh, my God, you hit me. But then they're like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. But I feel like it hurt. I think it hurt.
I mean, I'm glad to hear that they all seemed fine when they did get smacked, because it looked bad, and it just scares the shit out of you, right? Because they are not close together at all. They're like the whole dining room table's width apart, and they are going further back than that, too. And is it like a game of chicken where you pull back until something happens?
I guess you pull back until someone slips.
That's not a game I would play either. No, like, what's the upside of this?
I just think it's like, who's gonna give? Like there's no question as to whether or not you're able to hold on to it. I think it's just like, who's gonna be the one that tries to slap the other.
Yeah, and I noticed they're only using like their two front teeth to hold it down too. It's not like rubber band way in the back there with their molars,
Unless you're Risako.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just realized we didn't see Shohei play the game, and I wonder if it's because his two front teeth are bad.
Oh yikes!
Man, we learned a lot about Shohei's teeth through these like lost tapes. Like I don't think that ever came up in the show. Like his teeth. Like we joked a lot about like his laugh, his smile, but we had no idea that we are being deceived by that front denture.
It's the seventh roommate of the house.
The tooth is?
Yeah. Sometimes we'll get there, but sometimes he'll put him to bath. He's like, oh, he's relaxing. He's taking a bath now.
Yeah, it's his pet. It's his little pet.
In his mouth.
Tomatoothy?
I mean, look, if there's anything all of these lost tapes have taught me, is that Shohei is the best boy. Like, I've always believed it.
Oh, yes. 110%.
But confirmed, he's the best boy of the season.
I had a leering suspicion, but I can confirm now after watching these. Yes, Shohei is what's making the house awesome.
Shohei is the star of all these Another Terrace clips, y'all.
He really is. I mean, there are 2 clips here that are just focused on him teaching someone else in the house how to cook, and they actually edit it so that way there's text that shows up that's like, here's the cooking recipe, like here's the instructions.
It's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, like you can make Ludofan and Judofan at home because of Terrace House. It was wild.
Yeah. It was legit food porn, like a cooking show, I should say.
Yeah,
for that clip.
Right. But the next clip that we have here is one from week 6. It's the Doodle competition. It's called Let's Draw, where we're in the kitchen and it's Shohei, Ruka, and Cowdy, and they're just hanging out together. And Shohei he starts this conversation asking Cowdy, like, so if I just say, hey, can you draw this? Could you just do that? Or do you need a reference? You know? And it kind of leads them to all play this impromptu game of what's basically Pictionary.
Yes.
Where Shohei just whispers over to Ruka and says, like, hey, draw this thing. And then Cowdy has to guess what he draws. And the first thing that Ruka drew was a boy skiing.
He's got 60 seconds, basically, to draw it. And then Cowrie has to guess what it is.
Yes.
I don't know where I expected, like, Ruka's skills to be, like, what level he was going to be at drawing-wise. But I don't know. As soon as he revealed the drawing, I just laughed out loud. Like,
yes, it's really good.
I didn't expect like super high quality, amazing, but it's like a 5-year-old. Like he has not drawn since he was a child.
Excuse me though, because I would probably draw like that.
Have you drawn since you were a kid?
No, I don't draw very much. Like my handwriting's really bad. My spelling's getting worse by the month. And my drawing is just horrible.
Wait, Jack, are you sure you're not a doctor?
I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. I got to dry all these prescriptions out, right? But it was very funny. It was very elementary, I guess, is the word. You wouldn't think a 19-year-old would draw like that, but here we are.
Even the most skilled of artists, though, can't do a whole lot in 60 seconds. It's just not a whole lot of time.
Yeah,
but you can see, though,
with Shohei, yeah.
Yeah, but you can see that Cowrie does add some extra detail, that maybe an average person wouldn't. You can see she's kind of got that trained penmanship.
Right. One of my favorite bits, though, in this clip is when it's Shohei's turn to draw, and he has to show it to Cowdy, and it's a picture of a person, what looks like they're tripping over a rock, and I love how Cowdy guesses not just a person falling, but specifically Kenny falling because of the hair.
And so begins giveaway. The dunking on Kenny the rest of this clip.
It's just scribble. It's just scribble. It's Kenny's hair. Like, ham-fisted scribble. And it's like, oh, that's Kenny. We know that's Kenny. He has been compared to a poodle, I believe, before.
Yes.
Kenny.
Oh, he totally has hair like a poodle.
And then
I can't unsee it now.
They totally, like, craft this narrative all about Kenny now. In the subsequent images they're drawing, I guess they draw Indian Kenny where he's wearing a turban. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that was really strange. Off the wall.
It wasn't.
It's bizarre.
Confused.
Yeah, but here's the thing: I've gotten worse prompts off Drawful, so it's not that bad, I guess.
Yes.
And then they ask Ruka, okay, end this 4-panel comic, draw us another thing. Like where is this going to end for Kenny? And I guess Ruka doesn't like Kenny much because he puts Kenny in the hospital for his end.
You got to follow the thread, the narrative thread, right? He was skiing, he tripped, he went to India, and then he went to the hospital.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't a skiing accident. It was just him tripping over a small rock that sent him to the hospital.
After he got off the mountain, yeah.
Now he's on his deathbed, narrowly escaping death with an IV in his mouth.
It's a near-death experience.
And he drew like this weird square around it, like, and Shohei was like making fun of how squiggly it is. It looks like a cushy room. It looks very soft with soft walls.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just a cute little scene. It kind of obviously it doesn't add much to, I guess, the narrative of Terrace House, but it adds this layer of, look, these 3 people are just kind of having fun.
Yeah.
What do you mean, dude? I want Ruka to do the storyboarding for Kenny's biopic.
There we go. When he goes to India, when he trips, when he goes to the hospital.
Yeah. I just want to take a moment here and just kind of talk a little bit broader about Another Terrace, whereas like these are clips that are supplemental material, but to Robert's point, it just shows them just being real people, just being real roommates, just having a good time. And I wish that these kind of things were more in the show. I just think it's really great for character development, for showing bonds. It would help that problem we've pointed out too many times already about sloppy editing and like not really understanding why people are such good friends when we never see them being friends. And like this game them playing is a good example of that house bonding. And it's something that I definitely live for when I watch Terrace House. And so it's just a shame that it's in the Another Terrace clips. I wish it was in the show proper, but I'm glad we have it at least in this form.
Yeah.
Yeah. To your point, Jack, I I think that with the editing, it comes down to like they got to leave the stuff in that moves a lot of the stuff forward, and they don't have as much of a chance to focus on the sort of relationship building outside of that. And so I think these clips are definitely, they ground the show a lot more. It doesn't really feel set up. A lot of these feel really impromptu, like they're actually just people living together. And that's a lot of the moments that we don't get so much in the show. I think we've gotten a few like that that I can think of in my head where they're like all cooking in the kitchen. But otherwise, a lot of those scenes are relegated to a lot of these Another Terrace clips. So like, I mean, we didn't talk about it. We're probably not going to cover it much, but like the spontaneous workout session that Risako hosts with the rest of the people in the house.
They were working out their butts. Who doesn't want to see that? They were doing the butt
lift workouts. Yeah.
It was awesome. And she was in drill sergeant mode too. It was nice to see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They were like,
yeah. Overall, like, especially with Risako, because like for some reason toward the end of this part, I started being like, Risako just kind of like hangs around the house, but it's like she works hard and everyone notices too. They're always talking about how she gives 120%. And I kind of forgot about that aspect of her that's like very hardworking in the main show, whereas the lost tapes here really helped to remind me like, oh no, she's doing a lot that we're not seeing on screen.
Yeah, because so what I've noticed is like at the beginning of a part or a season of Terrace House, right? Like you just have this first 6 people, and since those relationships haven't really developed too much yet, as an editor, I'm assuming they have to focus a lot more on their own personal stories, right? Like where they work, what do they do for a hobby, or whatever else, because they need that to fill out content. And then once those relationships sort of build, they get these narrative arcs or these sort of scenes that they can build out with dates and things like that. So the sort of stuff that the people are doing for work or their hobbies, that takes a back seat to what's now happening in the relationships between the people in the house. So in that way, I think that it gets us in that groove or that mode where we just kind of forget what they're doing outside of the house and outside of their relationships with other people.
I mean, Risako had that really scary line when she's forcing everyone to plank. So it was Haruka, it was Kenny, it was Shohei, and she's making them all do a 2-minute plank. She says Haruka can stop in 60 seconds. So she is making this crazy face like she's straining. But the two guys keep going, and she goes, if one of you stops, then you all have to start over from the beginning. She was like full on like drill sergeant mode. And then after they're done, they're all like, oh, I'm groaning, like, oh, I'm sore. She throws out this like saying about a gun. She's like, see, you think you pushed yourself to the limit, but you really haven't. If I had a gun to you right now and said, do it again, you would, wouldn't you? And Choi's like, yeah. Yeah. So it's like, damn, she is a hard worker. Like Kenny said, he doesn't think she would be happy unless she was doing 120% effort with things. And I kind of relate to that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we learn a lot about the hardworking side of Risako, but I think also in these clips, we see a lot more of Kenny just as a dude. I think because one of our biggest complaints right about part 1 is Kenny is just kind of, for the most part, he doesn't feel fleshed out. But we even see scenes of him, I think there's one of the earlier After Another Houses where he basically kind of asks Risako out on a date. Like she's about to get a fever and he says, don't get a fever, or like rest up so you can come to my live show. And that right. felt so out of character for what I think I know about Kenny, because for the most part, he's been portrayed as kind of a lazy bum who never asks anyone out ever.
And a shill.
So you're saying he's showing that he's worried about his health for a show? For like
her health. He's worried about her health.
Oh, okay.
Saying like, so that way you can come to my show.
Well, he's like, don't get me sick. I have a live show coming up. That would be totally different.
He did say that, didn't he?
No,
he said, just so you know, I have a show in 2 days, so I'm going to stay over here.
I read that as he wants her to come.
Okay, I think he was being nice because he's like, don't get me fucking sick. I'm going to sit over on this side of the room now. Thank you. That's how I took it. I don't know. It's funny.
Fair enough. Yeah. Next big clip that we want to focus on here is from week 8. It's called Love Counseling, and it takes place in the skate park. And here's the thing. There are actually quite a few scenes that do this, but it's from a scene we've seen in the actual show, but then they either cut it off early or something because more happens here, right? So it's that scene where Risako and Ruka are in the skate park just hanging out and chilling. And it just opens up with both of them kind of sitting on the ground on their boards, and Risako is already tired of asking Kenny out. And this is week 8. Like, I think they just went on their first date last week.
She's like, I'm sick of it. Like, that's the way she worded it. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, she was fed up. And it's like, we were asking ourselves these questions. during this time, you know, and she kind of point blank answers it right then and there. You know, I would have been so much as pessimistic as I was about them going out at week 8. I would have been like, it's done, completely over with at this time. This scene adds so much more context to the inner struggle she's having in episode 12 now. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I think the common thread for me with Ruka and a lot of these Another Terrace clips is that, damn, is he like stiffer than a board? You know, she might as well have been talking to a wall when she was talking to Ruka about this stuff. He tries to offer some sort of insights like, hey, maybe you should think about Kenny's perspective and stuff like that. And I don't know, it just came off as very passive. He's not really putting much thought into the conversation, I feel like, or at least he's trying to, but I don't think he can really wrap his head around it.
For me, that translated into like he in that moment felt very defensive of Kenny. Like there's this, and I think Robert screen capped it. Like he gives this side eye to her. Like, what are you talking about? Like that she's not being like considerate enough of Kenny. And as we know, and this is kind of a glimpse into the future, so you know, hindsight's 2020. We know that, you know, he actually does have a very close relationship with Kenny behind the scenes here, and, you know, was very emotional when he found out that Kenny was thinking about, you know, graduating from the house, moving on. So I think in that moment, he was just kind of like, I can't say anything bad about Kenny. Like, he's busy. Don't be mean to Kenny, please.
And she was just getting more frustrated, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. She literally says whatever.
Twice. I agree with Daly's analysis here. I think this was just Ruka trying to stand up for his big bro in the house. You know, that's the vibe I got. But also, I get the vibe that basically, I think it was in a recent episode that we've covered that Cowdy says to Ruka, hey, you kind of suck at talking. Like, she was nicer about it than I am, but, you know, he likes to be quiet. He's comfortable in the silence, which is fine. But at the same point, if you're having a one-on-one conversation with someone, you've got to do something, man. Like, you can't just sit there and absorb all the information and not regurgitate. And that's kind of what he does here. Because I remember there's a point like halfway through the clip, he doesn't say anything. And his first line after like 5-10 seconds of silence is, girls' feelings are complicated. Like, how much of a non-response is that? It's
so tone deaf.
So this is a theme that we've visited before on our very podcast. Like, I really get the sense here, personally myself, that Risako just wanted to vent. She's not necessarily looking for advice. She's not necessarily looking to, you know, have Kenny being stuck up for here, you know, and justified in his actions, you know. So I think that all just led to more of the frustration there. It's really about Ruka, what he should have done, you know, after looking at this, like, just sit back and listen. Like you said, you know, just like absorb, just be there to be a friend, you know, don't be there to try and give counterpoints and tear down her and make her concerns feel invalid. You know, that was the real misstep here, I feel like, on Ruka's part.
Yeah. Plus, Risako knew she was in the right because she brings up that kind of the case closing fact. Why did Kenny move in the first place?
Right.
Remember, he said that he's here for love. And, you know, he doesn't.
Yeah. And Ruka's like, well, he's like, I don't know. Maybe he's here for his music or something.
He wanted to date publicly, and I guess in Japan, you know, is coming up here, you know, last week or 2 days ago, and now in this episode, it's not really like love. You can't be really public with that for whatever reason. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that in Japan, but that's the reality they live in.
Yeah, well, it's because he's in the limelight.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up too real quick that I think we're skipping over it, but to paraphrase real quick. When I was watching through these clips, I was sort of predisposed by the time I got to this clip, because I think I had watched the clip where Ruka goes into the girls' room for the first time and he's sitting there with Haruka and Kaori, and they had like the little plates and stuff like that, and they were drinking some sort of I think it was like wine or juice or something, and like Ruka was stiffer than a board. He was just sitting there and just, they were trying to pull information out of him. They're like, hey, like, tell us about yourself. We were like, we don't really know much about you, you know? And he's just like, well, what do you want to know? And he, like, the clip was pointless. Like, the whole clip was just like, dude, you didn't tell us a damn thing about you.
Yeah, it's just like the theme. Like, Ruka is just, and I don't mean this in a mean way, it's just like, I'm trying to be objective here. Like, he's just emotionally underdeveloped for his age. Like,
he calls it mysterious.
Yeah, exactly. It comes across as mysterious, but it's really just if you brought in a shy 10 to 12-year-old into the situation, how would they react? I think it'd be very similar to this.
Yeah. I don't know. I do find it funny, though, that Cowdy first called him mysterious, like, you're mysterious to me. And then he kind of ran with it, like, yeah, a lot of people call me mysterious. But he says it with the charisma of a 10-year-old, not like a cool guy who wears a trench coat or some shit.
Mysterious.
Like, yeah, cool guy. Does he wear a trench coat? No. All those guys, all those cool guys out there with cool trench coats.
All those cool guys with trench coats, you know?
Like, I mean, unless when you say trench coat, unless you mean like fucking Neo from the Matrix, it's not cool, man.
Basically Neo. But I mean, you know, you look at a guy like Neo and you're like, okay, yeah, he could pull off saying
he's
like,
a cool guy.
Yeah, I'm mysterious.
He's a cool guy.
No one knows. Well, actually, no mysterious guy calls themselves mysterious.
No, that's the thing, is that you can't say it out loud. You have to have someone else be like, oh, you seem mysterious.
Yeah.
You know,
you have to say you're not mysterious.
If you have to say it, you're immature. Same thing, right? That's Ruka, basically. He wants so many things for himself, but can't do any of it.
Oh, Ruka.
Good boy.
Young Ruka.
But I want him to succeed.
Yes.
So let's go to the next clip. That's all about Rupa. It's week 8 simulation for Shy Boy. God, this is maybe one of my favorite clips because this is where it finally clicked for me that, hey guys, Shohei's funny. He's like really funny. So in this clip, it's after it's all the boys in the boys' room, and it's again a continuation of another scene that we've seen where basically it's after Shohei is breaking down to everyone. Well, no, he breaks down the fact that the girls called them all passive boys, right? And now Shohei and Kenny are trying to encourage Ruka, like, hey, go ask Cowdy out now. Like, it'll be a power play. They just called us passive, but you're going to stand up and be like, no, I'm not passive. I'm here to ask you out on a date. And they play rehearsal, like, you know, role play a little bit, right? Where Shohei says he's going to pretend to be Cowdy. And then Ruka knocks on the door and he answers as Risako first. And then has to get Cowdy. And I love how that's a fact they established. When the second time he does it, he answers as Haruka with his eyebrow up. And then Kenny has to be like, oh my God, you're playing Haruka now, aren't you?
I like the recognition, like, oh, this is Haruka.
Yeah, Ruka-kun, right? That's what gave it away, that it was Haruka.
Yeah,
the way he was impersonating Kaori too, like, hi.
I was like, did she say hi that much?
I mean, that was the real scene stealer in this, was Shohei's impressions of all the girls in the house. It was so funny.
Oh. God, I love Shohei. I would die for that man.
Well, you like him that much?
He's pretty great, man.
Take a bullet.
Yeah.
I would hold his tooth for him.
I gotta say though, oh, his teeth. They really are like the 7th member. But I gotta say, with this having this context for when we, you know, kind of ragged on Ruka really hard about his like strategy for going and asking out Kaori. It's like, no wonder he was like so nervous. Like, they hyped him up for it and they were like, this is what you got to do. No, you can't say that because then she's going to be like, what do you mean art supplies? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I feel like they overthought it a little bit.
They made him overthink it.
Yeah, they made him overthink it in this coaching session. So now I understand why he was so... when he actually went, did the Spider-Man crawl up the stairs, knocked on the girl's room's door.
I will say, though, the good piece of advice that they did give him, though, is like, hey, you need to go, like, do it now before you talk yourself out of it and start being all negative.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's one of those things where, like, even if they hadn't interfered, I feel like Ruka by himself would have overthought it anyway. I
really think, though, they only helped him because it's not like he was going to knock it out of the park without their help anyways. Like, anything they did for him was up in the positive direction.
Like, yeah, let's remember, right, that even if they gave him all of this advice, sure, it made him overthink a little bit, but he still crawled up the stairs. Like, that's a Ruka original.
Ruka original.
They didn't tell him to do that part.
Yeah, they didn't tell him. That's just something he decided, like, this is the best way to approach that door, and then stand in front of it for like minutes,
mentally prepping himself. To do what he was about to do. So if anything, they may have made him overthink it, but I think it helped, and it also was hilarious, which is all I want as a viewer.
Fair.
But absolutely. And then, so the funny part about this is after he leaves the room and goes upstairs to crawl up the stairs, that's when Shohei like gets real with Kenny. He's like, you know what? Actually, I think they're talking about you.
He's old.
Yeah.
He seems like, way too shocked about that too. It's like, come on, dude.
Now. Exactly.
Like, you can't not be aware, at least a little bit, what's happening.
You would think, but can he? I don't know, man. I don't know about that guy.
Like, can you really honestly be that deaf to everything that's going on?
Yes. I think that's why he's single now. That's what I think is happening. That's why he's single. Well, I don't know about now. I don't know what happens, but that's why he's single.
Within the timeline, like where we're at now with the show.
Yeah.
The next scene is a very cute one. It's from week 9 called Dog Walking, where we finally get to see Coyote's cute little dog named Aden. And she goes on a walk with Aden and Haruka and Haruka's little sister Momoka, who's a fashion designer and also draws.
I loved her art.
Her art's really good.
Yeah,
I will say that. I was impressed. So you know what I was thinking in the back of my head, and I'm going to label this conspiracy theory.
Oh God.
But here's what I'm thinking. So this was week 9, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 weeks after this, we get broccoli carbonara, whatever the name of the episode was. And so in that episode, isn't that the episode where Coyote confesses that she's not feeling as confident in her art because she met with the professor and blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
So I wonder if after she saw Haruka's sister's art, I wonder if that she took a hit to her confidence a little bit.
Oh, like she saw this girl's art and was like, this is better than mine? Is maybe what you're thinking?
or something like that. And considering how much younger she was compared to Coyote, I mean, I think Coyote had 8 years on her, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was maybe the start of that bug being planted in her brain, where it was just I don't know if I feel as confident about my art anymore. That's just a conspiracy theory, but
so it's a slippery slope, right? To go down that path, because the reality of it, the harsh reality, is that there's always a bigger fish. Okay. Even LeBron James, even him, right now, Zion Williamson just got drafted. And he's the next big thing. There's always going to be someone younger, stronger, faster, whatever. But it's about not running the race, looking or driving in a race, looking at your rearview mirror the whole time. You got to focus on what's ahead. You got to focus on controlling what you can control and not worrying about what other people can control. And so, I don't know, just words of wisdom, I guess. Sorry. It's just general life tips.
I mean, you're right. You're right. I mean, that's great advice, first of all. And secondly, I just thought that that just occurred to me while I was watching it, because I was looking at this girl. I was like, wow, this art's really good. I know it doesn't really necessarily have to do with fashion, kind of like what Coyote's wheelhouse is. But I was like, I wonder if that was something that started because of this or not. Maybe it's a possibility.
Man, I was just distracted by the dog the whole time. I was just looking at the dog. It was a schnauzer. It was cute little, it looks like a cute little old man. And it's why couldn't he come to Terrace House? Why couldn't he be the 7th member?
The 8th member.
Right. I guess we can't kick out Shohei's teeth, the 8th member.
Kick that tooth out of there, yeah.
Toothy and Alan.
I think that would be really cute. Just can we have a pet at Terrace House?
Yeah.
Please?
Why not? Why are we going so long in the series? There isn't one pet. I mean, fucking a bowl of fucking goldfish, some shit.
So my theory is that it's because they rent out these houses, the production
and it's in the
company.
Lease.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they don't want to have a dog in there to risk shedding hair or having accidents on the floor that they have to clean and replace, because I mean these houses are big and they're expensive. It's a big house in an expensive city.
Yeah, I want a dog or a cat. I would love to. Let's get some more animals in Terrace House. I'm all for.
I agree, but I'm guessing that's why they don't.
You're probably right.
Yeah,
I mean they can do porn in the house.
Not in the house.
They can. Yeah, they've done porn in the house before Terrace House was a thing.
Right.
About this.
It's a setting. It was a set.
I mean,
backdrop.
Yeah, so I mean, I think little Alan can fucking sit on the fucking stairs if they're gonna have porn there.
Yeah,
let's be real.
I mean, hey, come on, man. They put down towels and tarps, I'm sure, and cover stuff.
Bring out the mat.
Tarps.
Bring out the mat.
Bring out the mat.
Mato.
A side detail I did want to point out from this clip is that when Haruka and Momoka ask Coyote, "Hey, what do you talk to your older brother about when you hang out with him?" She's taken aback. She's like, I don't know. I don't think about that. But then her first go-to is, I guess we catch up on what manga we've been reading. The only reason I bring that up is because we've talked about it previously on the show, right? That apparently her and Ruka have bonded over manga too. And we were curious if maybe it was like a one-sided, like Ruka telling his mom the comics he really likes. But I'm thinking it might be a little more mutual.
Yeah.
Between the two.
That's nice to know too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely had those dead air conversations though with my sibling where it's just like, you know, I'm not really sure what to talk about, but I feel like I should catch up with you because you got stuff going on. I mean, granted, my brother isn't much for conversation. He's more like just very straightforward. Like, hey, I want to talk through this and talk about what I need to talk about and get out. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't know if any of you guys suffer that with any of your siblings, but it's just, I don't know. It's just how the way it goes. You know each other. You grew up with each other. You kind of have an idea of what's going on with them.
On a side note, there were turtles too.
There were also turtles. Why can't there be a turtle in the pool in Terrace? I mean, I know why there can't be a turtle in the pool in Terrace House, but
okay, but why can't there be a turtle in the pool in Terrace House?
I mean,
like real talk.
Pet turtles.
Saying, put like a bunch of rocks. Put a bunch of like 10-foot tall rocks in the pool, so the turtle can hang on to them.
Yeah, and have it not be chlorine or salt water or whatever it is.
Oh, that's probably why. Yeah, chlorine.
That's the only reason they can't have turtles. Yes.
I didn't think about that.
That's the only one. The next clip is a choice fucking clip. Week 10 called Flying Denture. And all 6 of them are at the dinner table. And funnily enough, they're all gushing about Yusuke Eden Kai's most recent performance. And I didn't even think about this until they brought it up. But Monogatari, the song that he wrote from after being on Terrace House, they're all like, I relate to this song a lot more because I've literally been on Terrace House. And I'm like, I guess it is like a unique experience.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of cool being a member of this small group that truly understands what it means.
And it's funny, too, because Yusuke mentioned it to us on the show about that song, that exact
Friend of the
song,
show, Yusuke.
Friend of the show, Yusuke. Yes.
Friend of the show.
Merry Christmas, by the way.
And then Shohei worries about how today was such a good day that a bad day just has to be around the corner. Like, that's just how karma in the world works, I guess.
He was like legit paranoid, like he was scared.
Yeah, he
can't let himself enjoy things.
He said, I hope it already happens and evens out the day. Like, he was hopeful for it to just be quick.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
I don't know. It's a weird thing to worry about, but sure. And then meanwhile, Risako like super spaces out, like she's tired or something. I think this was around the time she like her rib was fractured or whatever. Like she took, she did trips maybe.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, we still don't know about like what exactly happened there. I don't think.
Skateboard, she flew forward.
Skating. Yeah.
Yeah, she did an Armand.
She fractured something though.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Broke a rib.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Allegedly.
So while she's spacing out, Shohei is like, okay, I guess I won't make you laugh. And then he starts making some of the best fucking faces that we can't make here because this is the audio medium of podcasting. But he makes some very great faces.
He's
and they're
blasted.
Hilarious.
He's
blasted drunk and making hilarious faces.
So drunk. I love Kaori's line, alcohol is scary.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking too.
And then while Shohei's laughing, keep in mind, we didn't know at the time that his front tooth is fake, and it just kind of pops out.
Just kind of
flies out.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, my denture.
I thought when I saw the title, Flying Denture, I thought it was going to be like he was going to tell a really funny story about like a grandpa or something, but no. Whoop. It just went.
It's like his front fucking tooth.
Yeah.
It's not like it's like totally noticeable, it's not something you can hide. But the girls lose their shit, and I did too when it happened.
It's hilarious.
I was like, oh my god, I didn't know it was a denture. Am I the only one who didn't know it was a denture? Like I had no idea.
I did not.
It land on Kenny and like fall to the floor too.
Yeah.
He's sitting right next to him. And then Risa goes holding her side because she can't laugh because her bone's broken, but she's trying to hold it in. But all the girls are like crying. They're like rolling on the floor laughing, especially Haruka. And she's like pointing at him too and laughing. It's kind of rough.
And then he keeps going with it too. He's like, no, don't look. And then like he puts it in, takes it out, puts it in, takes it out.
With his tongue.
Yeah, it's like a comedy routine. Like, don't tell him that he can also be a comedian on top of everything else, because he totally could.
I could tell right away that he was embarrassed right away.
Yes.
Because a room full of people that didn't even know that's happening, with them laughing as hard as they were, it definitely had to sting a little bit. But he made the most of it. He made it a comedic thing. But Who wouldn't be mortified by something like that if that's the way they find out?
I don't know. I still find it so funny though.
It is hilarious. It's hilarious. I just feel sad for the guy
funny.
a little bit, but it's fucking hilarious.
It humanizes him some more. You know, the thing is, though, I'm sure it was embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed in that situation, but he played it off. He played it off the best he could, especially considering he was drunk.
This
happened. Yeah. Plus, I think he did a good job with the situation.
Keep in mind, too, he's been living with that for, when did he lose it? He said like he was in middle school?
Second grade?
Or was it second grade?
Second grade?
So yeah, he's been living with it.
There was 2 incidents.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. 2. We'll get there.
Yeah. There was one in high school and one in second grade, but I think the second grade one was the one he got the denture after.
Yes. So he's had that tooth for like almost 20 years now. You know, I'm pretty sure
the
like
same one.
Well, okay, hopefully not the same one, but he's lived with the fact that he doesn't have a front tooth for 20 years now. I'd hope that he's pretty used to it, you know.
And I love it how he refers to it as like his friend or whatever. He's like, "Oh, where's your tooth?" He's like, "Oh, he's taking a bath. He's relaxing in the bath right now."
He's relaxing.
Just my little guy, my little toothy guy.
How does it stay in there? Because it's not an implant. It's like a veneer. You know, he can easily just like with his tongue like pop it in and out.
I think he has like a little stub of tooth still, and I think it just clips onto that because he said that when he was little, like he ran into like a glass door and it shattered. But that suggests that maybe like the root's still in there.
It shattered his tooth, not the door. The door was so clean.
Not the door.
Clear.
Yeah. The door was fine. Shohei was not.
I touched it with my tooth and I shattered a door.
Guys, I can't do like teeth. Like teeth getting fucked with.
It is like I'm right now touching my teeth, like thinking about it.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. It makes me want to rub my teeth, and it's like, like every time I think about a tooth getting broken, it makes my ears ring.
Did none of y'all have braces?
Get dizzy.
Oh, I had braces growing up.
Well, I'm on the way to getting Invisalign in like just a couple weeks here.
Okay.
Actually, at the time of this being out, I might already have Invisalign.
Well, just don't run into glass doors.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
No,
let us know. Let me. I want to know how that is. By
extra armor.
But no, it's just I did have braces growing up, and the worst thing was just like when they would drill the wax off your fucking teeth. And the drill was just hard enough to get the wax off, and it felt like somebody was tickling your teeth. Imagine being tickled, that sensation, but on your teeth. It was the worst fucking thing on the planet. I wanted to punch the person drilling me.
Did you wear your retainer after you got them off?
For a little while, then I stopped wearing it because it fucking hurt.
No one wears their retainer.
No.
Rip.
No. That's why my bottom teeth are crooked again.
No one wears their retainer.
Yeah, because retainers suck.
I love Shohei. Basically, the rest of this episode is going to be a Shohei praise podcast.
Shohei show.
The rest of these clips are about him.
And the
week
man's
11.
tooth.
Yes, week 11. Chat of the Pink film. Oh man, guys,
this is probably the funniest fucking clip of Terrace House I've ever seen.
Poor Ruka.
The fuck up.
Look, I was not prepared for this clip, emotionally, physically, spiritually. But it's the continuation of that scene where Shohei and Haruka are downstairs talking about his script for the Pink film, Virgin Concerto. And Haruka, she's kind of talking about how like, oh, I've kind of been considering doing more risque adult things, but I don't think I could do what you do. And Shohei talks about how he has to take a genital guard class where I guess you have to tape up the beep, the beppis, all
I still fully comprehend what that means.
Do you really have to take a class to duct tape your dick up?
Is that what that is? Is that what they meant by that?
Hold on, Jack. I would hope they don't duct tape your dick. I would really hope they don't.
I don't know. I've never taken a general guard class, but it's like you gotta tape it up, right?
There you go.
That's
why things to learn.
When we were wondering if we were seeing his
industrial HVAC tape.
We were wondering if we were seeing his scrot or not, and we kind of were, but it was like a taped up version. There was a genital guard there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
What? Sure, it's just tape. So it is just tape.
I don't know.
All I know is
it's an online class.
He can't get a boner because if he does, it ruins the guard.
It'll break the guard.
You just hear like ripping sound.
I just love Ruka's like, because they're reading the script, right? And like Ruka's like, hey, won't you get a boner? Because won't you be like naked and stuff? And Joey's like, I hope not.
Well, before that, Haruka's just like, so do you guys actually do it? Like,
yeah, or is it all fake?
Yeah, do you do the deed? He's like, sometimes I don't know. So he didn't know.
It was his first one. I think this was his first one. Yeah,
because Haruka was asking in general terms, not like, are you about to fuck this girl?
Some actors, like in Hollywood and stuff, actually do. Which, look that up. Just saying.
Yeah, just Google that. Hollywood actors that do.
Safe search.
But yeah, and then later we see Shohei upstairs in the boys' room with Ruka, and he's just reading his lines, and Ruka asks the very naive question, "What are you doing?" To which now they both are practicing together and rehearsing the lines, and Shohei is like, "Hey, you need to take this seriously. Like, please read these lines like we're actually acting it out. Can you play Aika, the female lead?" And every time Ruka delivers his lines, he can't help but laugh and giggle. But Shohei's taking this so seriously.
Who couldn't,
He's
though?
in the zone.
I think Ruka's being a good friend here, man. Because if one of y'all asked me to do this shit, I don't know if I could do exactly what they're doing.
He's taking one for the team, man.
It's one thing to rehearse your lines. It's another thing to act out the sexual acts. That's what's happening here.
Yeah. I was surprised that was happening. Like, the part where it's like, oh, what if I, with my hand... It's like, and then Shohei like stood up and mimed like taking off his pants, and it's like, oh, we're doing this, okay. Is Ruka gonna like jerk him off? Is that what's gonna happen right now?
Well, Ruka like made the motion like he pulled down his pants.
Yeah, it was a thing, and then he's like breathing on him, and then Shohei's making this fucking like orgasmic face and stuff. Wow, it was they were going all in.
And Shohei's like, hey, listen, you're breathing so hard that you're breathing through my clothes.
And Shohei plays with Ruka's boobs, and it's like, okay.
What?
So you're...
His fake boobs.
He was touching his
fondling him.
So this clip made me think about, and I'm pulling the curtain, I'm not pulling the curtain back, but I'm zooming out a bit and focusing more on Another Terrace as a whole. I've noticed some of these clips were cut out because, or at least I felt like they were cut out because they were a little more risque and not safe for work. Like in the exercising one Colin mentioned earlier, I think Kenny says something like, I can see Shohei's dick. And, that was like, okay, that's funny, but also I can kind of see why it wasn't in Terrace House proper. Cause like it's a little not safe for work. It's a little edgy. But then in actual for real Terrace House, I cannot drive this point home enough. We see actual porn. Basically, yes. Right? So what's stopping this, which I would rather have in the show
than actual porn?
Yeah, it would get across the same idea of Shohei needs to do something embarrassing without us having to see actual porn. And it would have been way funnier.
Agreed. I agree. I would have rather this been in than the pink scene for sure. It would have made way more sense in the context of the whole show. It would have shown the bonding. It's funny here too, because while they're enacting these sexual acts in the script, of course Ruka's going to turn red.
Oh yeah.
And Shohei calls him out, you're all red, buddy. Like, let's do a take
I'm
two.
going to be.
And then Ruka looks at Shohei. I love you, Shohei-kun.
Oh god.
And then they kiss, and all the yaoi fans are happy.
Shipping it.
And they finally get to a scene where Ruka's like, he reads the script, he's like, I'm not doing that part. And then it cuts. It's over. It was so good. This is the kind of stuff we talk about with Another Terrace clips, is that there's some of the best stuff that Terrace House has to offer. And it's a crime that a lot of people, especially international audience, is never going to see these. This is some of the best stuff, period. So like I said before, we're trying to do our part to make these public for you guys. And thank you to CostcoSubs for translating them so we can cover them too. It's a group effort.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you even know a little bit about them, you find out about them, it's definitely worth watching if you love the show, because I think all they really do is enhance them. It enhances the show for the most part. You know what I'm saying? It enhances the viewing experience, gives you a lot more context to all these different people and relationships. Lets you into their life a little bit more. And so, I mean, I don't really see the negative about that.
Yeah, definitely some of them are way more interesting than others. Case in point, this one. But it does no harm, right? Like you said, it only makes the show better in lens context.
Yeah, for sure. There is still one more clip here that we have marked. It's the one where Shohei's teaching Kaori, right, how to make Taiwanese shaved ice, right? And it looks good. I mean, everything he cooks looks good, right?
Yeah.
But, they go the whole 9 yards. They prepare a papaya, pineapple. Oh, it's just amazing. And for the first half of the clip, it's another recipe video. So if you want to learn how to make it at home, I guess there you go, right?
Yeah.
But then this is also the scene where Shohei tells the story about how he loses his teeth. We've already gone over how he loses his the one where he has a denture for, right? But apparently his other tooth, his right tooth, is also pretty chipped. And this is another example of a story that would definitely be edgy and not safe for work. But because of the pink film scene, I wanted this. exactly. But basically, he was in high school, and his friend, the girlfriend of his friend, got a new haircut, got a new bob cut, and he couldn't help but think, that just looks like a dick. Her head looks like a dick. And,
and rather than keeping this to himself and being like, this person, would take offense to that. He even like clarifies, he's like in the locker room with his buddy and he's like, hey, I know you really love this girl, but her haircut makes her look like a penis.
Damn.
It's like, I don't know what response he expected to get. Like, why did you feel the need to express that? Other than for the lulz?
He tells that story as if he's like, I'm just letting you, like, did you know that? I'm just curious. Did you notice it?
Just so you're aware.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend looks like a penis.
Can I just defend the bob cut for once and for all? I am a fan of the bob cut. Obviously, with haircuts, there's like, better. There's some that are better than others, right? It really depends on where you go and stuff. But I've definitely seen some good looking bob cuts. Throw in some bangs there. You got a look there. It's definitely a look.
They don't all look like penises, no.
No, they don't have to.
But I guess this one might have.
I like shorter hair.
You said it in front of Coyote. You said it in front of a Coyote who has a bob cut.
Yeah, and she got self-conscious.
The way he worded it, wasn't he saying like it was a fail? It was a fail of a bob cut. The bob cut failed.
And that is, by the way, let me bless you all with this. That is one of my favorite subreddits as well, too. r/justfuckmyshitup. It's one of the best ever with the bad haircuts.
I thought you were about to say r/bobcut fails, because here's the thing: there's so many subreddits where I believe that's a thing out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
r/subreddits I thought existed.
Same. Yeah. But after he tells the guy this, he got a little mad. I don't blame him necessarily.
Yeah.
And apparently he threw some deodorant at Shohei and
chucked it.
Yeah, he chucked it at him, and it hit him square in the right tooth and chipped it. Ooh. So what are the odds? Yeah, I know. That's the one thing I'm thinking, right? Is what are the odds that Shohei, a normal human being allegedly, can
allegedly
run left tooth first into a glass wall,
right,
and B, take a deodorant stick to the right tooth squarely? Like,
I mean,
come on.
While we're talking about odds here, what are the odds that a fight didn't break out immediately after that?
Oh, yeah.
Think about the aftermath there in that locker room. Wouldn't have been a good place to be.
Yeah, I was fully expecting him to say, like, he got punched in the face. Like, the dude straight up just decked him.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it was, hey, you can't say that about my girlfriend, but not like, I don't think it was genuine anger. I feel like it was, like, best friend antics. I'm going to throw this at you.
Oh, you think he didn't
afterwards his friend was probably like, oh,
yeah.
You think so? Oh, okay.
I don't think it was genuine anger.
Okay. I hope not, but I'm sure that girl got a haircut soon afterwards.
Probably.
But, dude. So, he named her, didn't he? He like said her full name.
Yeah. And what's funny is like it sounded like a very popular Japanese girl's name. I don't even know what those sound like, but when they said it, I like that sounds like what a popular Japanese girl's name would be. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. And so after you said, I was like, well, if they didn't know who they were, they know who they are now. So if that high school friend of his knows he's on the show, he's going to watch the show and see that he called her out by name.
Oh shit. Man.
It has to be on YouTube because it's not on the show.
Oh, that's true. Right.
Yeah, what a story. And just to go back to the shaved ice too before we conclude here, it all looked good, but the mung beans,
interesting choice,
didn't look good. They look like capers. They look like little tiny olives. I was weirded out by it. It looked like a vegetable in my fruit.
Yeah, is there an explanation as to why mung beans?
I mean, I assume they're done in Taiwan, right? That's where he learned it. That's where he got it. It was a weird looking thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you for sure.
Nope.
That's all.
But yeah, I don't know.
Mung
overall,
beans.
These and other Terrace clips, like we only covered about a little less than half of them, but in a perfect world, I could see us covering all of them at least to some extent. But these were the ones that I think that we came together and thought these are the most important ones. You guys
watch
agree?
The butt exercise one by yourself at least, because we did talk about it a little bit, but I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. No, I mean, really, all of these were interesting and definitely fleshed it out more. Like I actually like Kenny a little bit. I think Kenny is not like he owns land on space now. That's a fact.
I forgot. An acre on the moon. It was only $30. Why don't we all own acres on the moon? Is the real question. $30.
I feel like those aren't going to actually hold up when we do take over the moon.
No, not if, when.
You know, when? I told you guys this, but I own part of Hawaii too. I don't know if you guys know about this.
Hawaii too?
But Cards Against Humanity did it a couple years ago. They bought an island and they gave everyone a square like yard or some shit, and I got one.
Nice.
You could build a really small house there.
Tiny house. Yeah,
square. I actually think square yard.
I have the deed to it. Like they sent me the deed and everything. Like I don't think I can build anything there actually. I can.
But it is it's a legally binding contract.
I have the deed. Yeah.
Very nice.
Damn. I can't sell it though. Yeah. But hey.
Yeah.
Hawaii too. Oh. I own land.
Electric Boogaloo.
But I think that brings this episode to a close. We hope that you all enjoyed the festivities of Happy Holidays in the past week. It's a very joyous time of the year, of course. But we're also kind of, barreling closer and closer to the New Year's. And I'm scared of it, but hey, hindsight's 2020, right?
Guys, like this is kind of like our New Year's celebration as well, too, right? This is going to be one of the or no, do we have one more episode before?
Yeah, we have one more episode. That's the last episode of the year.
I'll save the festivities and the pomp and circumstance for that one then. Never mind.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember for sure. I think so. Yes. Yeah, our next episode does come out December 31st, I believe.
Ooh.
New Year's Eve, if y'all are interested.
Yes.
But yeah, next episode we're going to cover the next episode of Tokyo 2019-2020 Part 2, episode 14. That'll be exciting and very fun. Back to our usual shtick, of course.
Back on our bullshit. And again, we just threw this bonus episode out there, because we needed to cover it because these videos are awesome, but also as an extra bonus present to you guys, to the fan base here, to the listeners. We really appreciate you guys being with us. We're just about 13 months old now as a podcast, and the swell of support has been incredible. And so we just thank you guys, and we wanted to throw this out there. We didn't want to pass up these Another Terrace House clips because, like I said, they're too good.
Yes.
Absolutely. If you now listen, dear listener, if you want to
now you start listening at the end.
If you want to do us a real solid, or actually, if you want to get even more friends, what you do is you go to your New Year's Eve party, whatever that may be. You know how they play music at those things? In fact, turn off the music, play an episode
right
of Tadaima,
yank
a Terrace House podcast
cord out.
Yeah, yank that CD out of the player because people still have CD players, right? Yeah, burn ours to a CD, throw that shit in there, and put it on repeat. Oh, instant subscribers. Everyone's going to be like, I need to watch Terrace House now. I need to listen to Tadaima. I need to hop on the Tadaima train.
Get this Post Malone out of there. But Tadaima, though.
I can already hear our lawyers saying that this is not a legally binding piece of advice.
No. Like,
we're now liable for the tragedies of millions of New Year's Eve parties worldwide.
Yeah.
Listen, hey, we take no responsibility if you get excommunicated from your friend groups. Just saying.
You just gave
but then you can be our friends.
Yeah. Well, actually, what you do is you show it to a random party.
No, that's worse. No, that's worse.
Yikes.
that's actually worse.
And now we know why Colin doesn't have any friends.
Well, shit. Yeah,
he
you
goes
guys
to
are
random parties and plays podcasts all the time. I need help. He needs to be stopped. He is a menace.
I'm just that guy in the corner that's having a beer. It's like, I bet these guys don't even know about episode 11 of Tokyo 2019-2020.
Oh God, don't bring those memes in here.
Like, what are they?
But
Yikes.
Really though, if you do want to hang out with us, we do have a Discord. We don't shout it out often enough, but you can check that description below or show notes to link to our Discord. If you want to spend the holidays with us and enjoy the Tadaima Yuletide festivities, please do check us out on Discord. We have a lot of fun there. It's pretty great.
Hi.
Yes. But let's bring this episode to a close. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to email those at questions@terracehousepodcast.com. You can catch us next Tuesday with the next episode of Part 2, and we'll see you there on New Year's Eve. We're going to count down the minutes, the hours, the days. This has been Tadaima. Thanks for listening. Itekimasu. We hope you enjoyed our show. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to ding that bell to receive notifications when we publish brand new content. Follow us on social media and check out our brand new Discord server, linked in the description below.
Did you know that if you grab your thumb like this hard and then start throwing your wrist forward like this,
you break your wrist.
You will dislocate this tendon.
Nope.
Anyone can separate their
Why did you open with that?
Their wrist.
Do this real quick.
And so we're not watching you and doing it.
If you do it really hard, like everyone's doing it.
All the kids are dislocating their wrist tendons these days, you know?
Is that all the kids are doing? It's all the rage?
It's what the kids do.
Hey, they were spraying deodorant on themselves till they got a chemical burn on their skin, so...
It's the new hip thing. It's like, hey, did you know that if you fucking dislocate your tendon, you unlock a skin in Fortnite? Yeah, man, it's fucking cool.
R/kids are fucking stupid.
Yes, that's a real one.